Hello everyone, this is Fins for Life over here, and today I am with Billy123. His link, YT link will be in the description below, and make sure you check that out. So Billy, if you can unmute.
Yeah, I can. So, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Billy123. I am a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do well till I die. And my boy Vince for Life is going to be asking me some questions.
Okay, so starting off with the 2022 NFL draft.
Yeah.
I probably see that you guys are gonna get the first overall pick. So what do you think you do with that pick?
So, in my personal opinion, I hope, not what I think. So, first I'm going to say what I hope we do and what I think we're going to do. So, I hope that we trade that pick for some later picks in the draft and maybe some like future picks. And I hope with the picks that we get, like for this year, we draft Drake London and a defensive back. I'm not really sure which defensive backs are available this year, but I know that Drake London is. So I'm really hoping we grab him with that pick and we draft a defensive back.
Well, yeah, very good decision. So what I think about the Drake London, I think that's a pretty reasonable decision. And also about the defensive backs, I know that Derek Stingley Jr. is coming out of LSU. I pronounced his name wrong in my mock draft video. I just pronounced it Singletary. I just didn't read it correctly. So yeah, I think that if you're looking for a defensive back, I think that you should trade just a little bit and maybe snack him there because I think he's definitely going to be a top five pick.
Yeah.
All right, now with the second question. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? What do you think he's been doing? And what do you think that is the future for him in Jacksonville?
So first off, I just want to say a lot of the interceptions. First off, I just want to say I think Trevor is a very good guy. I really like how he's been taking the initiative with talking to Shad Khan, our owner, about things that are going on inside the team. Like when he requested a private on one with the owner to try to get Urban Meyer out of the organization, and he recently when we got blown out by 40 against the Pats, he was talking about how he was the only player and he was the only person on the entire organization to come out and get in and give an interview. So I'm just really happy about how Lawrence is confident with the team, and I really do hope that he improves. I know a lot of it is not his fault because he doesn't really have any weapons and his situation just really isn't the best. So I'm really hoping he improves in year two if we get him some weapons.
Yeah, I find that a pretty good response. But about the interception problem, I was watching some of the Pats game. He threw three picks that game. Two of them were just horrible passes. That's a rookie mistake, because he's a rookie. And plus, the reason why he's making all the mistakes, he does not have good receivers. And in Clemson, he had the best receivers he possibly could have. He had a lot of weapons back in Clemson, and I guess he just didn't adjust well to that. And there are a lot of things that change when you go from college to pros. The ball, and people are getting paid. Like the ball's literally bigger. People are getting paid to come at you and try and sack you.
Yeah, I
It's
think in year two, we definitely need to work on our receiving core because I do think that our receiving core is the worst in the NFL. Our only at least liable receiver is Marvin Jones and sometimes Laquan Treadwell because when DJ Chark went down, so in the beginning weeks, Lawrence had 3 touchdowns to Chark alone, and then Chark went out for the season, and he's thrown, I think, 6 or 7 touchdowns since then. And Chark got injured in week 3 or 4. So I definitely think we need to re-sign DJ Chark and up the receiving game a lot, which is why I think we should take Drake London.
Yeah. And what I was saying about his interception problem, that other interception that he threw two horrible ones. One of them was off the receiver's fingertips that got picked off. That was just horrible. And that was just not his fault. And plus, about James Robinson, undrafted second year man, amazing in his rookie year. Then they're not feeding the ball and they're not doing anything with him. And that's why they're losing a lot of these games.
I mean, honestly, the problem I had with Urban Meyer wasn't necessarily him being a bad guy. Can I swear on this?
Of course, yeah.
Uh, him not being an ass wasn't him necessarily being an asshole. It was more so him not giving James Robinson touches and instead giving it them to Carlos Hyde, who he had ironically at Ohio State. So I definitely think that Hyde being at Ohio State with him was definitely a reason that James Robinson was getting a lot of those touches. But it sucks that when he did start getting touches, he tore his ACL or his
Yeah.
Achilles. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah, he throws Achilles. And what do you feel about having James Robinson? And then when you drafted Lawrence, instead of drafting some guy to protect him or some defensive support, you guys drafted Travis Etienne. What do you feel about that? With having James Robinson, so what do you feel about that?
Honestly, I liked the I liked the ETN pick. Because I think that ETN is definitely more so the receiving back in that backfield once they get healthy. And I think if Robinson doesn't do as well as he did in previous years, because coming off a torn Achilles really doesn't help his case. I think if ETN performs well, we can maybe let Robinson walk. So if if that backfield is good, we can have something like we did in the early 2000s with Maurice Jones-Drew, or mid 2000s with Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor.
Yeah, I see your point there. And also, um, this upcoming draft, why would you want to why would you personally want to trade the pick instead of drafting some defensive support like I don't know, Derek Stingley or Aiden Hutchinson, who's coming off of Michigan?
I don't think we really need an edge rusher in this year's draft. I think that's a hole we don't really need to fill. I think we have Josh Allen, Miles Jack, and some pretty serviceable defensive line guys. So I don't think the defensive line is the problem. I think the secondary is the problem. We have Tyson Campbell, Andre Cisco, and we have Shaquille Griffin. And that's really only players that are good in our secondary, you could say. So if we can draft a defensive back in this year's draft, and he turns out to be at least something like Tyson Campbell or Shaq Griffin, I'll be really happy because we let the Pats score 50 and we let the Texans score 37.
Yeah, but also the Texans had Davis Mills playing, or do they have Tyra Taylor playing? Still,
In week 1 they had Tyrod and they scored 37, and in I think it was week 14 they had Davis Mills and they scored 31. We lost in both those games, obviously.
all right. Well, thank you for coming on this recording. And this is Fins for Life here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also make sure that you sub to Billy123's channel. I've seen his content, it's actually pretty good. And I'll see you sometime soon. This is Fins for Life and Billy123. Peace.
Till I die. See y'all.